Peace. Do you like that? That's crazy.
It's not a normal world, it's Taskmaster world. Welcome. Oh, I froze there. Welcome to a brand new video. Now, today it's not part of the podcast. Today it's a regular interview because today I'm here with someone who isn't from an international but is from an international version of some sorts. All the way from Minnesota, the host of Taskmaster Minnesota. It's the one on ha.
Oh, thank you for having me, Tom. Good to be here.
You're welcome. So we'll start with the average normal question. How did you get into Taskmaster?
Oh, good question. Yeah, well, it was actually one of the contestants on my show, Max Barber. He introduced me to the show when we were living together about 2 years ago. He was like, "Hey, I think you'd really like this show. You should check it out." And then I started by watching series 2 of the UK, and then got hooked right away, and then just started watching all of it. So
how did that link into you making your own version?
Well, I just thought, I thought it'd be fun. I kind of had some free time last winter, so right around January 2021, December 2020 was when I had some free time on my hands. I thought, it'd be really fun if I took this show that I really enjoy and tried to run it with my friends. So I started writing tasks back then. Yeah.
And then how did you get the contestants on board? Had any of them, apart from one of them, but had the others actually seen the show?
One other one had Henry had watched Taskmaster, some like the first 5 series, and the rest of them not so much, and had not seen. I think. Let me think. I think Parker had seen just series 2, and that's it. And then I think Carter had seen one single episode, and then Ben and Owen, I don't think had seen anything at all. But I think they just trusted me to like do something fun. We're friends. They know that I'm got lots of fun ideas. This isn't the first time I've run like a TV show, like game show for my friends. It's just the first time that I've filmed it and put it online. But we've actually done it with other shows as well, and they always enjoyed that. So.
And how long did it take? How many months did it take to film all this?
Filming took about 3 months. It started in April. I think I ended filming in July. So actually, that's April, May. Okay, I guess 4 months. 4 months. Yeah, April to July.
Wow. And then how did you actually get the locations?
Oh yeah, the location was a barn in Chaska, which is about 40 minutes away from Minneapolis, which is where I live. So it's quite a drive down there. And Luke's, the Taskmaster, Luke's grandparents own that barn, but don't really use it. They use it occasionally, but for the most part, it's empty most of the time. And so he thought that would be a great idea to film it there. And So I called Luke's grandparents and asked if we could use it, and they said yes. So that was very nice of them.
Yeah.
And that was the only location that was used for the individual tasks. The team tasks were just filmed at my apartment, so it was much easier.
Yeah. And so, what's your favorite task you've actually filmed?
For my favorite task to film, that's such a good question. All right, let me think for 1 second. I think I've got a list of all of them right here. Let me just look through them. The team tasks were a lot of fun to film because there was that group dynamic was so fun to watch, especially when Parker and Carter were doing their team tasks. They're just so funny. Them writing their song was just absolutely hilarious. I liked filming stuff where I knew that I was going to get the sound. So in episode 5, there's the 2-part touchdown task. That was a very fun for me to film because I knew that I was gonna surprise them with the second part of that task. So I was just waiting with anticipation.
Yeah. And was it easy for you to edit, or was it a nightmare? Because it seemed it looked very complicated. You would somehow to get it so close to where the show had it. So how did that actually come down in the editing process?
Yeah, it was really hard because this might come as a surprise, but I've never edited anything before. It was my first time. I bought, some editing software to do this, and I really had to figure out from scratch how to edit, how to make things like entertain, how to make it look like the real show, and how to keep kind of the pace moving. That was the most important part. That was like by far the most important aspect, was keeping the pacing very like tight. Because the one thing that turns people off of it is if it's too slow, or if there's a lot of dead air with not enough jokes, then they're gonna just turn it off or click to a new video, especially because it's on YouTube. If it's on TV, people are more likely to watch the whole thing. But on YouTube, like, you really have to hold people's attention, I know. So like, yeah, what I ended up doing was I just watched a lot of Taskmaster over and over again, but like with a much more like not watching the the clips or the like what people were saying, but just watching the editing. I watched episodes, but just looking at how they edited it, and I incorporated all these techniques that I saw them using into my episodes. So
yeah, and the question that I've always wanted to know is, why is it so popular?
Why Taskmaster Minnesota? I guess so popular.
Yeah.
I think because it's really good. Hopefully, yeah. I think because people realize like, oh, it's like really quick. I think like, not to like diss on other fan-made Taskmasters, but I really think ours is definitely like kind of a cut above the other ones. Like, we really, I've watched a few other fan-made Taskmasters, and I think ours like really takes the next step in terms of editing and like music and like original tasks as well. I think that's definitely one thing that keeps people watching. I think if people are watching a series that is all tasks they've seen before, it's not really a great need to keep watching it because they've already seen all the tasks. So I think having written all the tasks kind of made it more popular. And then I don't know, there's just a lot of support. I shared it online. I shared it on Reddit. Shared it on the Taskmaster Discord, and I shared it, on my, I guess, Facebook. So lots of my friends and family are the audience as well. But and then it was like kind of started small. Like, we had like maybe 100, 200 views on episode 1, and then when I uploaded episode 2, the YouTube algorithm picked it up and started promoting the episode 1 to everyone. When it didn't happen until I uploaded episode 2, but apparently that triggered some math in the algorithm, and that pushed episode 1 out to everybody. So as soon as I uploaded episode 2, suddenly episode 1 started getting all these views, and then people in the comments were like, "Oh, I just got this on my recommended, but I love it." So yeah, I think the algorithm really helped. Yeah,
it did. And when I was rewatching it, before the interview, it turned out that the first episode's on 12k views.
Yeah,
that's just mental. But how did you feel when you found out that Alex Horn had seen the version and actually liked it?
Oh, vindicated. I felt so. I felt vindicated. I was like really wanted him to see it or like comment on it. That was like one of the main goals. And thankfully someone else, but he was not responding to my tweets, I think because he wasn't following me, but somebody that he did follow tweeted about it, and that got his attention. So thank you to Taskmaster Master, I believe it was. So.
And it's a brilliant thing. But like, with it being a US so-called version of the show, why was yours better than the actual remake of the show in the US? Because that works better than Alex and I can't remember the Reggie Watts. Yeah, why is your version better?
Yeah, that's the number one comment that people have been saying to me. That's by far the most commented thing is that, oh, this is so much better than Taskmaster US. Now, I usually don't engage that because I'm maybe the only person in the world that quite enjoyed Taskmaster US. I actually liked it, and I might be the only person in the world who did. So I haven't really been commenting on that, but I will say I definitely see where they're coming from. I think it came as a benefit of maybe two things. I would say, well, maybe three things. I would say one, having more tasks per episode. I mean, Taskmaster US had 2 tasks per episode. That is way not enough. That is the 2 tasks per episode. Like the winner was just like random every time because I don't know. Yeah, 2 tasks was definitely not enough. That was a huge mistake. I think we had the benefit of being on YouTube and on TV, and Taskmaster US was like a 20-minute show, and then 5 minutes of that ended up being cuts to commercial or whatever, or transitions back in from commercial. It was just a large chunk. We were on YouTube, so we could just very smooth, no exits. That's actually an advantage we have over the UK Taskmaster, even no having to cut to commercials.
Yeah.
Which is nice. And then I'd say 3, I think the contestants are really what elevated it. I think Taskmaster US had some unfortunate choices with contestants who didn't really understand what Taskmaster was. They didn't quite get the format of it. They didn't. This is what most people would probably say was the issue with Taskmaster US, is that they had contestants who didn't really understand what it was supposed to be about. And luckily we had a great lineup for ours. So
and
that's probably the biggest thing.
And how did you choose to go with 6 contestants instead of the standard 5? Because there's only a few other international versions that use the element contestants. How did you choose 6 rather than 5?
Yeah, there's 2 reasons we went with 6 contestants. One was simple. 6 of my friends wanted to do it. And then the second reason is I've always been frustrated by the uneven teams on the UK version, and I thought with 6 people we could have even teams, and that would be very cool. And we could also have 3 teams, which I don't know if other versions have done that, but I thought that 3 teams would be a very cool dynamic.
And have you seen many international versions?
I've seen New Zealand. I've seen New Zealand season 1. Not season 2 yet. I'm gonna get there. And I've seen the first episodes of a couple other versions. I forget which ones, but just one episode from the versions.
Because the most popular are Sweden and Norway, and I feel like your version really good because it's A, fan made, B, really popular, and C. And did you do research into what other fan-made versions did you see to get inspiration from? How YouTube related ones do it?
So I didn't do any research into the international version, just the UK and the New Zealand versions are really the only ones I've really watched. So
yeah, and have you seen many of the YouTube fan-made version? Which ones did you see of those?
Yes, I've seen. I don't remember all their names, but I have seen a few fan-made versions. I've seen the that's the Portsmouth one, I think. I do like watching fan-made ones. There's the one that's I'll just say there was one that I did actually draw a lot of inspiration from, and that one it's just called Taskmaster. It doesn't have a subtitle. It's kind of hard to find, and nobody's seen it. It has maybe 100 views on YouTube, 200 views. It's tiny, but I think it's the best fan-made version. Other than ours, of course. I think it's the best. I think it's the best version. It's only 20 minutes long, but it's so good. It's so solid. Yeah. They absolutely nailed the editing. I'll send you the link. Let me find it here. They just absolutely nailed the editing, the humor. They had great contestants, and it was. I only wish they had made more. It was so short. It was 1 episode, and it was 30 minutes long. Yeah, here it is.
Yeah. And so with drawing inspiration for that, will you be doing a series 2? Will there be more to come from your madness?
Yeah, that's the big question, right? That's the big question people want to know. Is there going to be a series 2? I don't know. I was originally I had just been saying kind of flat no way. I like doing season 1 was so hard. It took so much time. It kind of destroyed my life for a few months. But so many people have been requesting the series too. It's making me have second thoughts about it.
Yeah.
Because so many people are like rapidly demanding that we make another season. And I mean, it was a lot of fun is the thing. It was super fun. And all the contestants said that they would want to do another series, I think.
Yeah.
So there would be a lot of changes if we did another series. And if we did do another series, it would definitely be a long time before it came out. Like, I don't think I'd even start working on it until maybe next summer.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd start working on it until then. And I'd definitely take it slower this time. I tried to cram everything into 3 months because I tried to do all the filming and stuff in 3 months in the summer because that was kind of the time that we had before people had to go back to college. So we were really trying to jam everything into that 3-month period. So I definitely spread it out. I would try to be more patient with filming and editing so I could do a better job and not have it like totally.
Yeah.
And also, I think we'd probably change a lot of things as well. I think we'd maybe get a new location. I like the barn, but I'd like to film it probably somewhere closer. My house and somewhere with running water because that was kind of an issue.
Yeah. And how did you actually come up with the tasks?
Oh, how did I come up with tasks? That was difficult. It's hard to say. They all came from different like sources of inspiration. Sometimes I would just walk through my house and like pick things up and think like, okay, could this be used in a task? Could this be used in a task? A few of them I like came in with the thought process of how can I make American Taskmaster different than the British Taskmaster? What does America have that Britain doesn't? And that's how the football task came to be.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, we have football, and that's also the fireworks task. I was like, oh, like 4th of July, that could be that's a very American thing. Maybe that would be funny. And otherwise, I would just like. The other thing I did is I just took like long walks around the like neighborhood and just would spend that time just thinking, just like head down, just thinking about task ideas. And I found out that's actually what Alex Horn does too later.
Wow.
So it's clearly the right method.
Yeah. But how come your version didn't end up having any prize tasks?
Well, we had one prize task at the beginning. But yeah, I kind of explain it in the show as having the college students don't have 5 things. Of course, that's just a joke. That's not really why. The reason that we don't have prize tests is because I didn't want to extend the time that we'd be filming studio tasks for too long. I wanted it to mainly just be focused on the recorded tasks. Yeah. And like, I feel like when people go to watch Taskmaster, they're watching for the recorded tasks. I think the prize tasks are probably the weakest part of the show. You know, when you think about Taskmaster, when you think about each contestant, and you think about memorable moments from each season, or you think about memorable moments from each contestant, it's hardly ever a prize task. It's not really what people remember. It's not really what people come to the show to watch. They don't really watch for the prize tasks. And I figure, well, why have them? So I stand by my decision to not do prize tasks. I think it was good, and nobody, has really had any complaints about that. So I think that was the right move.
And how did you actually choose your Taskmaster in the first place? How did you say, oh, I'll have him on as the person decide no.
Yeah. So Luke, Luke's my roommate, and I thought he'd be a good Taskmaster. I'd also would have had him as a contestant as well. But I thought about my friends. I'm like, who out of these, I guess 7 people, because I had 7 people that were kind of interested. I'm like, who out of them is going to be the best Taskmaster? And I thought definitely Luke. Luke is kind of has I feel sort of more of an authority. It was really between him and Henry, and I was like, well, Henry's just way too nice. There's no way he can do that. So yeah, I definitely thought Luke would be a better option. We ran that twice. and Luke won one of those games by a lot. Luke was extremely good at stuff, and one of the other reasons I didn't want him as a contestant is I thought he's gonna just be too good. He's gonna win everything. He's so creative, so he just swept I think he won like almost every task. He was so good at the creative stuff and so competent physically at the like anything else, the objective tasks as well. So I was intimidated of him just kind of dominating the competition. So I thought it'd be better to have him as Taskmaster. And then the person who won the other one was actually Parker. And then of course Parker won our version as well. So Parker is 2 for 2.
Yeah. And if you had any advice for any person that wanted to make their own version of Taskmaster, what advice would you give them?
It'd be buckle up, strap in. It's gonna be a lot of work. But I would say, I would recommend that they try writing their own tasks. I understand if that's a lot of work, though. It is quite difficult to come up with tasks. I pretty much exhausted my creative brain doing that, but I think creative tasks makes a big difference. And I'd say editing is really important. I would say get started on the editing right away after you film. What I did was after I filmed the first person, I started editing their footage right away. Did not wait to film other people. You want to have as much time editing as possible, and I would say definitely watch Taskmaster, watch what they do, watch how they edit it, and try to use their techniques to keep it tight. That's honestly the most important thing, is keeping it tight, keeping it as short as possible. Every clip, every segment should be as short as possible. That was just one Taskmaster fan made that it's so sad, because I think they had great tasks and really funny contestants, but their editing just was too long. They had one task where they had to, maybe you'll remember the name of the version, but they had a task where they had to hang as many things on something as possible, hang as many paper clips on something as possible.
Oh yeah, I can't remember what it's called, but I do know what you mean.
They had one contestant who had a necktie tied around his head.
Oh yeah, I do know it. Because there's so many, I just can't remember what it's called. But
I thought they had good tasks and good contestants, but the issue with it was the editing. For that task, I remember specifically they had one contestant's attempt where just hanging paper clips on a clothesline, and it took it was a 5-minute clip, and I was like, wow. I can't watch this. This is too long. I'm not gonna watch somebody hang paper clips for 5 minutes. Nothing else was even happening. That was the one mistake they made, I think. Otherwise, it would have been a great series.
Now, stepping away from your version, who is your favourite contestant on Taskmaster, not including your version?
On Taskmaster UK?
Oh, well, of any version you've seen, really.
I would say currently Series 12 is airing, and I think Khan might end up there. I've absolutely adored him in all 3 episodes that have aired so far. I'd say other than that, though, I would say my number 1 would be Bob Mortimer. I think, he's just so funny. Actually, I find a lot of similarities between Guz and Bob. It's not even what they say; it's how they say it that makes me laugh. They just have such a unique way of delivering lines that is just so funny to me. So I'd say Bob is probably my favorite contestant. Followed by I love Frank Skinner. I think he was one of the funniest contestants in studio, and I think that's really important. He's just had everything he said in studio was just so funny, and he's very underrated. I think people don't talk about Frank enough on Taskmaster.
Yeah, and if with Gus, he's really funny, but he wrote a fantastic sitcom called Man Like Bobine, which is his style of comedy. I don't know if you would agree with this, but a lot of people want his coat. Would you agree with that? Would you want to wear his coat?
Yeah, great coat for sure. 100%.
Yeah. It's easy to trip up on because there's not enough room for your legs, so you might fall into things a lot more. You might be in A&E a lot.
I'm very tall, so I think I could pull it off. I'm 6'4", so I'd be okay.
Well, yeah,
and I'm taller than little Alex Horn, and he's quite tall.
Yeah, he is quite tall. Out of your series,
of my series, that's a tricky one. I think I'd have to go with Carter. I think Carter was, I think, the funniest in studio. I don't think any of them would disagree that he really made the studio shows, I think, a lot more entertaining. Everything he said was so funny. And Carter was the person that actually, while we were filming, made me laugh the most, I think. He was so just constantly making jokes and just being so funny, even when we weren't filming. Like, just I'd turn the camera off and he'd just keep going. He's just, oh, it makes me laugh so hard. And honestly, I've known Carter since high school, but I haven't actually I haven't really hung out with him like one-on-one at all. And I didn't realize how funny he is. So that was just a joy. I think a lot of people within my friend group was kind of expecting Parker to be the funniest because he's kind of always had that title in our friend group. But I think Carter just made me laugh from that whole day. My stomach just hurt from laughing at everything Carter did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see in a lot of Carter's tasks, the camera's just shaking because I'm just laughing so hard. Yeah.
Yeah, and a question that not many people want to know the answer to, but I'm always intrigued. How did you film the task intros and the intro for the program itself?
Yeah, the task intros, that's a great question. The task intros were actually filmed a month before any of the contestants showed up to the barn. Those were all filmed in April, and the first contestant didn't film their tasks until May. So that was all gotten out of the way very early. I knew what the tasks were going to be, and I just kind of filmed some footage related to those tasks, and then I got a lot of B-roll of just the barn in general. Things that I thought would be interesting in an intro. I did lots of little weird things. I filmed some cows. I don't think that made it in, but I filmed some just the barn. There was a little wagon near the barn, so I filmed that. I filmed one of my favorite shots is there's a little windmill that's spinning. I like that shot a lot. So I just filmed a bunch of random footage and then just edited it together and added that music, and that worked pretty well. And then for the theme song, that's what you're referring to?
Yeah, that as well. How did you make that?
Well, that was just clips from the show, of course. So I'll put together. What I did was I went through all the tasks and in a spreadsheet and just wrote down, made a list of all the moments that I thought would be good in a theme song, have that sort of 1 second funniness. So I went through all the tasks. I went through all the tasks and recorded all the funny moments that I thought might be good in a theme song, and then kind of just went into editing, cut them all out down to 1 second, and then just rearranged them until I found an order that was satisfying to me. I tried to space out each contestant so that it wouldn't be 2 in a row of the same person. You want to start with Max throwing the watermelon. That's the watermelon. Because that has that big explosion. I don't know if you've noticed this, but every Taskmaster intro always starts with some sort of explosion or pop, basically.
Oh, yeah. Now you come to mention that, I do see that. Wow.
There's three that start with a popping of a balloon, and then there's Nish popping a balloon, Asim popping a balloon, and then Ramesh throwing a watermelon is one. So they all start with some sort of explosion and pop. So that was our explosion, was the watermelon. It's so funny you ask me this because all my friends Max loves to make fun of me for how much I analyze the theme songs. He's like, why do you watch the theme? I always skip it. That's what he said. He always skips the theme song. And I much to my regret, I told him that I often rewatch the theme song because I like them so much, and he told everybody that, and just endlessly makes fun of me for it. We're watching series 12 together, and he's just like, "Oh, did you catch that? Do you want to watch it again?"
Yeah, and I feel like with some theme tune that aren't worth skipping. So I was watching Last Man Standing, and that doesn't have a very good intro, and it's not worth skipping. So I just don't think the skip button's necessary with Taskmaster. There's no point in skipping because you're ready to watch it, and if you hear it from another room, you're gonna run and get sitting on the couch.
the other thing is about it is when you're watching a series like episode by episode for the first time, every time you watch the theme song, you now recognize more clips. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
that's that. So that's
Yeah.
I think that's the greatest thing about
Yeah.
it. Is every episode sort of unlocks another clip that you're like, oh, I know where that's from.
With a lot of British TV, if you've not noticed, a lot of British TV with theme tunes, when you watch them like on the screen, a lot of them feature clips from episodes within that series. Each series for a new like set of clips for a new series, and that's what Britain does well. And I only realised not so long ago that a lot of British programs have or say goodbye to part 1, hello part 2. I didn't realise that. And how's that? Do you like notice a lot of differences when you watch and then you watch a standard American program? Do you notice the difference a lot with how we have our stuff and you have your stuff?
There's really no comparison because we don't have panel shows, you know. So there's no panel show equivalent in America. So I wouldn't even know. I guess we have talk shows, but I don't really watch a lot of them, so I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Graham show once just for BBC America called Would You Rather. If you've ever seen that.
I haven't, but I've heard of it. Yeah.
No, I've not seen it. But if so was ever gonna do another US remake, who do you reckon you would want to see on the show?
Great question. I have a list. Let me pull it up. I have a list of contestants I want.
Very prepared.
Yeah. Let me see.
This is a super fan in the making.
No, my number one desired US contestant would be Keegan Michael Key from Key and Peele. He's got a lot of experience with improv. You know, he's on Whose Line Is It? Whose Line Is It? He's so funny. He's very physical in his comedy as well, which I think is a plus for Taskmaster. And he has that sort, I think, self-deprecating humor necessary as well for Taskmaster. And yeah, he's got the really strong improv background. I think he would definitely be by far my number 1 contestant. Number 2 would be Ben Schwartz. From if you've seen Parks and Rec, he plays he plays John Ralphio. But he's also an incredible improv comic. He released a special on Netflix May last year, just like a long form improv special. And he's very funny, physical, he's got all the checklists there. I would say Nicole Byer is my number 3. She's very funny. Just like stand-up comic. She does a lot of good stuff. Wayne Brady, I think would be legendary. I think by now he'd definitely be the older, the one old man contestant. How old is Wayne Brady now? Let's see. He's like 50. So, that he's 49, which I believe is exactly how old. It's exactly the same age as Victoria Corin Mitchell. So still, so not even as old as Alan. So, and then my 5th would be Sarah Silverman. I think she's very funny too. I think she's very funny as well. It's a good stand-up comic. So those are my top 5. And then as Taskmaster, I know you're about to ask who's the Taskmaster. Conan O'Brien, I think, would be the perfect Taskmaster.
Ooh.
He's of course very tall, but more importantly, he just has that wit with all the contestants, all the people he has on his show. He like exactly knows how to kind of make them laugh. He's so self-deprecating that he makes everyone around him like kind of do the same thing, and I think that's really strong. I think he would be, and he's used to having a sidekick, of course, too. So he's very used to that role.
Yeah. And who would you have the assistant then?
If it was Conan, then I think Andy Richter would be a natural sidekick. But another idea I had, if it's not Conan, or just if Andy didn't want to do it, I think Chris Parnell would be kind of funny. He's just so solid. He was on SNL, and then he kind of just plays the sidekick in everything he does already. He's Jerry on Rick and Morty, and he's Cyril Figgis on Archer, and they're both just these big punching bags that I think he'd be good at that. Where he's clearly extremely well at that role. So I think he's very funny. So
and I quite like your suggestions there. And what's quite interesting there is that if they were to do another go at it, I would have thought they would have put in someone like Jimmy Fallon or something, but I don't think Taskmaster would work with Jimmy Fallon. Would you watch it if Jimmy Fallon got the call and said, "We want you to be the Taskmaster"? Would you watch it with him in it still?
I'm gonna watch it no matter what because I need to see what it's like. I mean, I watched the current one, so of course I'll watch it. I don't know if I'll like it, but I'll definitely watch. I'll watch whoever's on it.
And do you reckon if they redid it, would you still see it on Comedy Central, or do you reckon it would be on somewhere like CBS or NBC?
Yeah, I don't know too much about the politics of networking. I don't know if Comedy Central would risk having it again. I guess, did Comedy Central air series 8 of Taskmaster UK though? Was that Comedy Central or a different channel?
I think the CW were showing it, and then they
CW?
stopped showing it, and then
Yeah.
put it on the CW app. I think that's what Alex was saying to famous YouTuber Hank Green. With Alex and Hank are friends.
I see. Yeah, so I guess the CW or Comedy Central. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, Comedy Central should probably do it. They did the first one though, and they botched it real bad. So maybe I have to try someone else. I mean, I don't know who else could really do it. Maybe Adult Swim might be able to do it because I know I feel like they have very little restrictions on kind of the shows that's on them, and maybe that's what Taskmaster needs is less restrictions. I don't know.
And going back to your version now, with the fact that if you were to do a series 2, would you try and get a cameo from Alex? Because you got a cameo from not as in the website cameo, as in an actual cameo segment from Alex. Because you got a cameo from the website cameo of Mark Watson whilst he was sat in a pub and he realised it was too noisy, so walked out.
It was the most Mark Watson video that I've ever seen. It was the most Mark Watson thing ever. Yeah, very funny.
So would you want Alex to say, "Good luck, contestants on series 2," or "Way, you're doing it again, woohoo," or something?
Yeah, I would definitely try to get. I'd try not just to get Alex. I think I'd try to get other former contestants to make cameos as well. I think I'd try to get Al Murray. I think that'd be kind of funny.
Yeah.
Because he's always wanting to be on other versions. Yeah. I think that'd be funny if we got Al Murray.
And I will. I don't know if you know. I don't know if you know that I interviewed Alex on myself. And me and Alex have made contact. We've talked to him. He's a very nice person.
Yeah.
And if you would send him a tweet and ask for him to make a video for one of your series, I think he would happily do it. So I reckon if you decide to do a series 2, or you just want to cut Alex into one of the upcoming episodes, because you're only on to episode 5, I think, currently uploading wise. How many episodes are there in series 1?
Just 5. Yeah.
All right. It's just I think that series 3 also had 5 episodes.
2 and 3. Yeah.
Yeah. And have you heard of the Taskmaster podcast?
The Ed Gamble one?
Yeah, have you actually heard of that?
I listened to the Ed Gamble one, yes.
Because I reckon it'd be really funny if there was a podcast where someone reviews every episode of all the not international versions. That's my job. All the fan made versions. Would that be something you would? Would that be something you would listen to if someone had made or they reviewed every episode you had ever made of your version?
Yes, I would definitely. I try to appear on it. Hopefully, they'd interview me.
Yeah. Because I just think a lot of podcasting with Taskmaster are all to do with the one singular version. My podcast, Taskmaster World, the podcast, is trying to breach the gap of not just talking about the UK version, but going global. We don't even mention the UK version. And I was lucky enough to interview several different people from Babel Larsson, Swedish Taskmaster, Urshel Kaus from Series 2, David Correos from Series 2, and Sam Smith, the task writer, and it's really interesting. And your version is really interesting, not just to watch, but to see people's reactions to, because normally people say, "Oh, it's not that good. They're missing this, and this," but there wasn't anything
It was
wrong.
like not like it's incredible. There's like no negative feedback at all,
Yeah.
very much. Yeah,
I mean,
just the audio was the only people talked about.
yeah. If I had to be really, really nitpicky, I would say, if you're doing series 2, I would invest in those little laugh mics.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit, but I don't think it hindered it in. I don't think it hindered it in any way, because I was watching it on a TV, on an actual TV using Sky, which is
Mhm.
our provider. You could easily just easily turn the volume up, and you'll be able
Yeah.
to hear it as clear as day. I just
Yeah.
sometimes when they try and talk and then people laugh at the same time, I think that's the only bits where it
Yeah.
doesn't work. It's just the audience. But how did you get an audience? Were they just friends of yours, or did you just find them in the street and say, "Do you want to come and watch people be idiots for an hour?"
Yeah, it was just friends. Yeah, we had a dozen people in the audience for episodes 1 and 2. Yeah.
Wow.
And then for episodes 3, 4, and 5, that was a separate day. That was the next day.
Yeah.
We were even though we got 12 people for the first day of studio filming, for the second day we somehow only got 3 people. So there's not really an audience in the last 3 episodes. I don't know if people really noticed that though, to be honest.
Yeah. And if you did a series 2, would you invest in getting a task consultant on? Because that's what Alex has got. Alex got Tim Key just to sit in the pub and talk to him.
I don't know. I don't buy that Tim Key really helps that much. I think Tim Key just maybe I don't know. Maybe he's got a few ideas, but I feel like Alex still is doing the brunt of the work there. I'd probably I might like if I did season 2, I'd probably like try getting like internet involved. I think that would be kind of fun because nobody's done that before. I might try like a Twitter like thing and be like, tweet at me if you have any task ideas or something.
Yeah, and I think just an idea that's popped in my head based off that is it'd be really interesting if you had the contestants do a task, but you had a task where they had to try and like contact the most amount of people from around the world. Because Alex did a thing where we met one person from every country for a year. You could do that where you tell them you have like 3 weeks to try and speak to as many people from as many different countries as possible. I reckon that would work whether you like, but then they record it over Zoom so that, say, for instance, they speak to someone from New Zealand, you can record them speaking to them and saying hi, and then it'd be something interesting, and that'll be something that's never done before.
I think that might be a better one for a real version with people have like connections through, agents and agencies and things like that. We're just like 5 like random yokels. We're not going to be able to, I don't think we're going to be able to contact anyone. I don't know. We'd see. But
yeah, because you're a successful American version. I'll say I want to see you do a crossover with a different version or do cameos in other versions. So Taskmaster Portsmouth.
I would love to do. Yeah. Oh man, if I could like be on the official like Ed Gamble's podcast, that would be so cool. I don't think he's seen it though, but that would be amazing. Or
have you tried tweeting him constantly, annoying him? Just tweeting him. Oh, Ed, I want to be on your show. Come on. I run a Taskmaster version. I am popular. But I think
if he watched it, he might have me on, but I don't want to. I don't want to bother him. I feel bad.
What you could do theoretically is you could sneak onto David Creos's that Discord server that he's got, where you can sneakily say, "I run my own version. Would I be able to come on and do something with you?" You can just sneakily ask him, and then Ed will probably see it from David doing it.
I see.
Yeah.
So you use David Corias as a middleman. Very good.
Yeah.
I haven't joined the Discord yet because I haven't watched Series 2 of Taskmaster New Zealand yet. After I watch it, then I'm gonna join it. Yeah, that's my plan.
What I really want to see is I want to see some of your contestants interact with another version So, for instance, Taskmaster Portsmouth, they actually very friendly in the messages department. So if you message them, it could feature you in an upcoming task. I don't know if that's interesting. I don't know
I guess they're
how
still
you.
doing things, yeah.
I don't
But
know how
they're yeah. I don't know if I'd be able to show up in person because Portsmouth,
I
as
don't
far as
like.
I know, is in Britain.
They can just get a picture of you in the corner, or one of the tasks could be try and get hold of you the fastest. And
Yeah,
yeah,
you're really trying to promote the cross
yeah.
pollination. Yeah,
So that's what people want. People want to see international versions do a crossover, but because of language barriers, fan version than the next best thing. It was Doctor Who. A lot of fan Doctor Who stuff can combine together and then do one big thing. And I think your version would really do that because
I'd be all down if anyone wants to do it. I'll just say this directly in the camp. If anyone wants to do that, I'm down. I'm in.
Yeah, because I think your version, what it needs now is just promotion. It needs to be more promoted out there, more people can see it, and it needs to be recommended to Alex Horn. Alex
Yeah.
Horn can find it in his recommendations and go, I might need to try and get them people on the podcast because Alex runs the podcast. I don't think he runs the bookings, but he's heavily involved in the actual podcast.
Yeah. Let me actually revise. Earlier we said about who should be the Taskmaster assistant for the official Taskmaster US season 2.
Oh.
Let me change my answer from Chris Parnell to me. It should be me.
And then if they did do a US version, another US version, would you want to host the official Taskmaster US podcast?
I would definitely do that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, because you've got the voice for it. You've got a voice.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Podcast. Or a radio show, depending on what line of work comes out of this. So the question is how hard was it to choose what tasks to put in? Because you would have had tasks that you had in it that you wouldn't have used afterwards. You would have done, but you then just didn't use.
Actually, no, we used everything.
Wow.
Yeah. The one that I thought about cutting the most was do the most magical thing with this deck of cards.
Yeah.
That almost got cut. And honestly, I still feel like maybe I should have cut it. I don't think there was really any good moments in that task, but everything else I felt pretty solidly about,
Yeah, and how long you can say this in days, months, or hours did it take you to edit all 5 episodes? All 5 episodes. How long did it take you to edit?
Yeah, it was about I think it was about 200 hours total. Yeah, editing. So it was a lot. Yeah, for sure.
And was this the first time you had actually ever edited proper video?
Anything at all. It's the first time I ever edited anything.
What program did you use? Because I used Premiere. What did you?
I used Premiere. Yeah.
Yeah. And did you have to watch a lot of tutorials to actually learn? Oh, you do this, and then you do that to put it together to make this magical thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
I kept it pretty simple, just cutting and trimming. Really, it was the main 2 things, and I had to mess with the audio a little bit because the audio was pretty bad. I had to do some audio adjustments as well.
And
if people thought what we got was bad, you should have heard the original footage. It was like you couldn't hear anything.
Now, one thing I like about your version, especially just with Taskmaster in general, is that Alex wants to see as much creativity as possible with the fans. That's why I love how all the music he makes are available for free. So they're not copyrighted at all. And I quite like that. Was that a benefit for you?
Yeah, well, it's hard to find. I don't think he has it officially on anywhere, but a very nice YouTuber by the name of Fizzy Paint kind of extracted all that and posts it on their YouTube channel. And I thank them in the credits every episode. Thank you to Fizzy Paint for creating the Taskmaster music library. That was a huge benefit. I haven't directly reached out, but he's in the credits, so hopefully he sees it.
And then, because I don't know if you know this, because I don't know how it works, but there is now a full library where you can listen to all the music that's been made throughout every series in the UK.
Is that on the app, right?
Does the
Yeah.
US have the app?
Well, it didn't matter because the app didn't come out till after we were done, so it was too
Ah,
late. Yeah,
ah,
too late.
yeah.
I would
Well,
have, I would have loved that because I actually did not have access to all the music. I only had access to maybe 20 tracks. It was not I would have really liked more. And actually, in the same vein, Fizzy Paint uploaded a bunch more music after we had finished. I was like, oh,
ah,
I would have loved to use that music, but the music that we had was pretty good. I did a really good job, especially in the later episodes, of lining up music with
yeah.
tasks. That was like, oh, that was really difficult, but like I like ended up the music isn't always the same length as a task. So I have to end up splicing it. Actually, I edited the music to make it like longer or shorter in certain parts, and nobody's noticed, which means I did it correctly. So that's very good.
And
Yeah.
I quite like how the music's made by the horn section, so the horn section going to mention in the credit. But I quite like how you did the credits. But one thing I did want to mention that you might have not known is I don't know where it is now, so I wouldn't be able to tell you where the link is. But someone months ago made a score thing, so they made a fan that made those where you import the photo and then import the numbers underneath for the scoring.
Oh.
And they made one of those. But I didn't think you would have known that, because when you
Yeah.
made yours, you just made it. It looks beautiful when you're saying this person has got how many scores, but there is someone fan has spent hours making their own version where it like moves up when you get the highest amount of points.
Oh wow.
And
I would have definitely used that.
uh,
That's great. I didn't know that. Yeah.
if you do a series 2, I recommend looking into that.
Okay. Does
Yeah.
it handle 6 contestants though, or is it only programmed to take 5?
I'm not sure whether you can add things, because I think there's a Facebook group that's its own version of Taskmaster that has nearly 100 contestants run. So it's everyone that's on the Facebook group can take part. I'm only there just to promote my content. I'm just there spreading the word of
Yeah.
Taskmaster World and
Mhm.
all its lovely goodness.
Yeah.
So, coming now towards the end of the interview, if you had to remake any episode of your version with this newfound knowledge of where you went a little wrong and what bits you can improve, which episode would you want to remake and improve or remaster?
Probably episodes 1 and 2 had the weakest audio, so I would try to tweak that if I could. I'd re-edit that to make it. Probably, episode 1 would probably be the most key to re-edit because that's the one that most people saw. Has a lot more views than the other one, so I would really like to remaster episode 1. Not going to, but yeah, that would definitely be the one to do. I think. I don't know if I'd move around any tasks like if I were to switch tasks around. I think I'm pretty okay with the order that they were in. I think.
Yeah, and if so, with the 1 year anniversary being next year, have you got any plans to celebrate 1 year of this wonderful project you slaved over?
What would be the anniversary? Like the day it came out on YouTube, or the day we filmed
Uh,
it, or
well,
I don't.
you had 2 different anniversaries: release day anniversary or filming anniversary. You have 2 anniversaries in the 1 year. What would you do to celebrate that?
I don't know. Maybe we could all get on like a Zoom call or something and just talk about the series, like a retrospective.
Yeah.
That would
Yeah.
probably be a good idea.
And my one bit of thing that I would love to see is for a like what the YouTube like what you did before episode 5 came out, you released some full tasks. But I would love to see, for promotional reasons only, a Facebook page where you've got the list of the full episode and then you upload more clips on there and promote it.
I might keep uploading clips to the YouTube channel. Like we might see some more clips. I kind of want to do some like compilations of like each contestant's best moments. I think that would be. I love those compilations on the official YouTube channel. They stopped making them for whatever reason, right? But
I think they stopped making it because they had to sort out, because Channel 4 over in the UK had there was a fire not so long ago, so the sprinklers have damaged the system. So they've got Channel 4 have got to sort out their their control system. So a lot of stuff behind the scenes on YouTube and that have all stopped because they're trying to focus on none of the programs crashing in the middle of it. That's why when the live broadcast the episode, there's a grey tint on it, like a greyish tint of the episodes.
Okay. Interesting. Well, anyways, I'd like to maybe do some compilations of each contestant's best moments. I think people would enjoy that. So
yeah, I would love to see that. One, because I would love to watch a load of clips and best bits, and two, because then I can pinch a clip for my part 2 of the best fan-made versions of Taskmaster that will be coming soon, just because I found Taskmaster Minnesota and he sent me a link to one of them. So there will be a clip which includes some bits and bobs of I've done and some bits and bobs from other versions, including Taskmaster Minnesota and the upcoming Taskmaster Winnipeg. Are you excited for Taskmaster Winnipeg?
I saw the trailer. Yeah, I suppose so. We'll see.
I think it'd be a very good contest between yours and his. Because
yeah, you think? Because we're nearby.
Not because they seem like the same, like high qualityness. They both seem the same high qualityness. From the trailer of that one, it looks really high quality, just like yours. So you might be having a competition. We might have to I might have to make a video saying which one's won and award someone the ultimate fan Taskmaster trophy.
Mm-hmm.
But only time will tell if that video will ever actually happen. Depends on how Taskmaster Winnipeg is. So,
yeah, I mean, that would be the one I'd be most likely to do crossovers with, because I actually have some connections in Winnipeg, so it could happen.
I want to see.
And we're quite near. We're pretty nearby. Minnesota and Winnipeg are pretty close. So.
Yeah, I actually, funnily enough, had never actually heard of Winnipeg before I saw the trailer of that. I don't know if because it's not widely. No, it's not as they don't have their own CSI version. It might not because it might not because of that, but I mean, it's not as well known, is it? How big is Winnipeg?
It's the biggest city, Canadian city near Minnesota. So, like, if you were gonna go to Minnesota to Canada, like, you would probably go to Winnipeg. Like, it's right on, like, near the border.
Well, if you, I'm excited to see if you ever make a cameo on the Taskmaster Winnipeg, whether that's in a photo or in a reference. I'd love to see you in it at some point, whether or not just digitally imprinted in it by filming a video saying, "Hello, I'm the assistant for Taskmaster Minnesota. Good luck, contestant in Winnipeg. I'll see it," and then appear in it. I want to see you do a crossover with that, because from what I've heard, they've not finished filming it yet.
Oh, really?
So you've got time to pester the owner of that. So
yeah. Well.
So anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching this interview. Hopefully, guys, you enjoyed it. There'll be more content coming soon that is non-interview based. There'll be exciting new adventure for Taskmaster World. I'll also like to say, because I forgot to mention in the beginning, thank you for 2.05k subscribers. I run 8 YouTube channels. It took me 8 channels to get this far, but thank you. And remember, keep tasking. Bye. Cheerio.
Hello everyone, please subscribe to Taskmaster World.